In today's video, I wish to share with you a very simple technique regarding surrender that's not only going to simplify your life, it will also help you experience whatever comes before you without suffering. And most important of all, it will help you grow spiritually. It will help you become free from all attachments. It will help you outgrow personal identity or ego. So recently I've been uploading many videos on free will, surrender on the channel, and it always invokes quite a reaction because the mind doesn't like to hear this teaching. The mind wants to hear about how it has power, it has control. It is the one that is sovereign and doing everything. So oftentimes we get lost in that. We get lost in our own resistances to even the teaching of surrender. And even if we are somehow willing to accept the teaching of surrender, it's confusing how to practice it, how to live in surrender. Because surrender is one of those things that you only come to the understanding of through practicing whatever you sort of understand about it in the beginning when you hear about it. It's like one of those spiritual principles that makes no sense to the mind, but still, when it comes in your experience, this teaching, right, you feel a sense of truthfulness in it. So maybe you practice it a little bit, but by practicing it a little bit to whatever degree of understanding that you had when you first heard it, through the practice of that, you grow in the understanding of it a little bit more. And then you're able to practice a little bit more purely. And then it's like a door that gets unlocked. So it's like that with surrender. You can only really understand the teaching through the practice of it. But it's like, how do you practice it if you don't understand it? So sometimes, especially ones who have a very complex mind, we love to dive deep into concepts. Those are the people that have the hardest time with surrender. Whereas if you're simple-minded, a little bit more naive, childlike, you have an easier time with surrender. So regardless of which bucket you fall into, I want to share with you a very simple technique today that is going to simplify surrender for you. And it's something that you can practice. Even if you throw all the free will and non-doership teachings in the trash, this is something that you can just practice, and it will start to bring all of this spiritual understanding into your direct experience. Don't underestimate this power, the power of what I'm about to share with you, okay? And it's going to, when I say it, it's going to be extremely simple, and you're even going to have a mental reaction to it that I've heard this before, or this can't be that powerful. But I'm serious. Don't underestimate the power of what I'm about to share. So we resist. Why do we resist the surrender teaching? Because we feel like we have to give up something. We have to stop desiring what we desire, chasing what we're chasing. We have to stop personal activities in the way that we are used to conducting them. Essentially, we feel like we have to give up what I care about. But that's not true at all, especially with this technique. So with this technique, desire what you desire. Chase whatever you want to chase. Whatever experience you want to have in your life, try to have it. Pursue any goal that you feel you want to achieve. Even chase material pleasures if you want. Do you want money? Do you want power? Do you want fame? Chase it. Pursue those goals. Create a goal and pursue it. But here's the catch. The journey that unfolds, you pursuing whatever goal you're pursuing, the journey that unfolds step by step, whatever arises in this moment, whatever arises in the present moment, you must not resist. Whatever appears in the present moment, whatever situation arises, don't resist. Accept whatever appears before you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it. I'm not saying do nothing about it. Whatever situation appears before you, accept it and move on from there. And simply go through that experience. Experience it without resistance. So for example, you have a work goal. You want to grow your work or company to this particular size or whatever, and on the path you encounter an obstacle. Rather than resisting that obstacle, rather than wishing that you weren't experiencing that obstacle, rather than hating it and just like fearing it, fearing how it's going to turn out, trying to resist it in any way, like just having a conflict with it. And internally, right? Like we always have a conflict with things. Have no conflict with it. Have no resistance towards it. Experience it fully. You can still, right? Like you obviously have to go through the obstacle to get to your goal, whatever it may be. So just even perceive it like that. I'm experiencing this obstacle and I'm going to go through it without resistance to move towards my goal. But one thing that you'll start to find is that when you have no resistance to what is appearing before you, rather than resisting, when you just embrace it and experience it, one, you will start to really learn from that experience, and you will start to realize the lesson that experience, that obstacle is trying to teach you. Two, you will actually see that you start to have more clarity in your decision making. You start to have more clarity in even like how to move forward without more and more conflicts all the time. And number three, you start to really understand more deeply this principle of surrender. You start to realize that in resistance to life, you cannot be happy at all. You start to realize that whatever obstacles that are being placed in my path, it's like so beautifully placed because you start to learn exactly what you needed to learn. You start to realize so many things which cleanse so many resistances, so many inner conflicts, misunderstandings about yourself, about life. So many things within you. You just become lighter and lighter only through this one simple little thing of non-resistance to what is here and now, to what is arising here and now. This is where you start to become more self-aware. You start to observe the body and mind, how they're always reacting to the here and now. They're always reacting to whatever situation, to whatever person, to whatever someone is saying or doing. And you start to see that, like, I've been identifying with those reactions all my life, and I no longer have to. In your very observation of the body and mind reacting, you will transcend those reactions. You will start to grow aware of your true nature as only the witness of the whole experience. And just by living in this, with this technique, not resisting whatever is arising, even though you, as I said, give yourself the permission to chase anything you want, chase material pleasures, chase desires, whatever. But just by living with, like, really wholeheartedly living by this technique, you will start to find this inner freedom, which becomes where you start to realize that, like, whatever I'm chasing, even if it doesn't go the way that I planned, even if it doesn't become fulfilled, I'm still okay. So it's like internally you start to become free from all attachment to any outcome, to any experience. That is the beauty of it. Just by non-resistance to what is in the present moment, you start to internally become free from all attachment. I can't give you a, 5-step, like, whole approach to how to do this and why it works the way that it does, but you will just see that it does. That's how all of these spiritual principles work. Like, we can create like massive PowerPoint slides about like trying to figure out how these things work, but that's just the way that they work. Through non-resistance, the whole personal identity, the whole ego starts to unravel. Because the ego, one thing you'll start to like observe, is built on non-resistance to what is. The ego, in a way, is non-resistance to what is. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The ego is resistance to what is. The ego is, it constantly feeds itself through resistance to what is. So through non-resistance, it unravels. You start to become free from attachment, free from resistance, free from suffering. So you have to try this out. especially if you're the one who say, oh, I don't know how to surrender, or I have a hard time with surrender. Can you at least start with this simple little step of relinquishing resistance to what is appearing here and now? Even if resistance is appearing, don't resist the resistance. Just experience it. It's just like you're just like opening your heart, opening your arms to whatever this experience has for you. And you're gracefully experiencing it and going through it. Just through that little step, my friend, everything will become clearer, especially the depth of this teaching of surrender. You will start to see that everything is being moved by an intelligence that is far vaster than your mind, and that you are much happier regardless of circumstance, much more peaceful despite the nature of your circumstances. Now, one thing that will help you to live in this way is your meditation practice. So I will, just let you know that if you are not practicing meditation consistently, and also, you have many resources on this channel to help you do so. If you're not practicing meditation consistently, you will find it very difficult to even live in this way. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. Establish a meditation practice. It will help you. Okay? I hope this video helped you today. And yeah, try it out. Experience it for yourself. Bye. I hope that video helped you greatly. If you want to make what you heard in today's video your direct experience, then you have to start practicing self-inquiry meditation. So I have a resource for you that you can download for free in the description box below. It is my self-inquiry guide. It will teach you how to practice self-inquiry step by step. And if you're looking for help with consistency and depth in your practice, and you want a more structured approach, check out our School of Awakening. School of Awakening is a community of people practicing self-inquiry and awakening to their true self. It is an amazing program that will help you break through. So firstly, we have our amazing community group here where you can ask questions anytime. Along with that, we have our course material, where, as you can see over here, day by day, I will lead you down into a deeper and deeper understanding, and again, more importantly, experience your true nature. Along with that, we do weekly meetings, Q&As, guided meditations, and from within the program, you can even book a private meeting with me to get additional help. It is an incredible resource. If you are serious about your self-inquiry practice, you want to commit to going deeper into these teachings, then I highly encourage you to take a look at the link in the description box below. It'll take you over to the School of Awakening page and you can enroll right away. So I certainly hope to see you inside of our School of Awakening. But that's all for today's video. I hope you gained a lot of value. I'll see you next time.